Today we're going to be talking about the US Bank Cash Plus credit card. And this is because this week, actually, is my 2-year anniversary of having this card, which also means I will be getting out a 524, and will be looking to apply for one of the Chase Business Inc. cards next month. But that will be for a different video. Today I want to talk about the US Bank Cash Plus card, how it's been having this card, and the benefits of having this card, as well as things to look for when you have this card or when you are looking to apply for this card. So let's just get right to it. So first of all, as of right now, if we go to the website, we can see that the offer for this, that you earn a $200 rewards bonus after you apply online and spend $1,000 in eligible purchases within the first 120 days of account opening, and enjoy no annual fee. It's kind of interesting because on the website right now, it has it where it used to be $150 and then they cross it out to be $200, but when I applied for the card 2 years ago, it was $200, so they must have lowered it for a time, and now they're making it seem like the $200 is the elevated bonus to be able to get this card. When in fact, the $200 was the normal rate that they were doing it when I applied for this card. So make sure that if you see an offer out there and it's only for $150, look for the $200 offer. You don't want to have a sign-up bonus that's less than what's the best one out there. This is a different kind of offer as well because you're getting 120 days to be able to spend $1,000. Normally, for credit cards, you get 90 days to spend up to that spending limit that you need to do to be able to receive your sign-up bonus. So this gives you an extra 30 days to be able to do so. So 4 months to be able to do that. That means you could spend $250 a month and you would be able to hit your spend requirement, which is really nice that you don't have to rush it as much as with other cards when you only have 90 days to spend. So what makes this card really unique is that it gets 5% on a bunch of different categories. But it's not just one 5%, it's 2 5% that you can be able to get on 2 different categories. So this card is pretty similar to like the Citi Custom Cash card, where you get 5% on your highest spend category. And you can pretty much choose which category that is, unlike the quarterly category cards of like the Chase Freedom Flex card or the Discover It credit card. You can only spend on the categories that they hand pick for you to be able to get the 5%. With the Citi Custom Cash card, you can choose whichever categories that they have in there and make it your highest spend to get that 5%. This is kind of similar where the US Bank Cash Plus card has a bunch of different categories, and each quarter you do have to select 2 of them to be able to activate so that you can get 5% on those 2 categories. So that is the downside, I guess, that you do have to activate the 5% categories as well as the 2% category that you want to be able to get your cash back for, but it's not too big of a hassle because you can set reminders and you can just do it real fast and real easy. So then, just to go into further detail of what this card offers, you can be able to get 5% cash back on your first $2,000 in combined eligible purchases each quarter on 2 categories you choose. From this aspect, you're only getting $1,000 per category per quarter, compared to like the Citi Custom Cash where you get $500 per month, which would be like $1,500 for 1 category per quarter. For that, you can get a better reward if you just focus on 1 category. Even for the US Bank Cash Plus card, if you decide to spend all $2,000 on 1 category, then you're going to get a good amount of cash back that you wouldn't with other credit cards, because like the Citi Custom Cash, though it's $500 a month, it's $1,500 per quarter. The Freedom Flex and the Discover It card have it set to $1,500 per quarter as well. This is actually a way to be able to get more cash back for 5% categories per quarter if you wanted to, but then you're leaving out the other category that you could get from. You can just play with the numbers, figure it out what spend that you want to be able to do to see what you can do with it. And depending on what you spend on, you're going to be able to get way more cash back for it too. As well, like we talked about, you can get 2% cash back on 1 everyday category that you have to activate, like gas stations and EV charging stations, grocery stores, or restaurants. And as well, you get 1% cash back on all other eligible purchases. And then as well, this card comes with a low intro APR offer that you can get 0% intro APR on purchases and balance transfers for the first 15 billing cycles. And then just some additional benefits that I haven't really used too much, but these are other benefits that you can look into as well. You can get rewards on prepaid travel, so you can earn 5% cash back on prepaid air, hotel, and car reservations booked directly in the rewards travel center, which I haven't done really, and there's better travel cards out there and travel portals. You can look into it and see if this is something that you would like to use or not. Flexible redemption, you can choose to get a cashback as a statement credit, a reward card, or directly deposit into your US bank checking or savings account. Enjoy flexible options designed to fit your needs. I believe with the redemption offer though, if you do like a statement credit or anything like that, you do have to have a $25 minimum to be able to do so. That might not be the case for like depositing it into your checking account or your savings account with US Bank, but it might be the same case as well. Either way, you can't take the money and put it into your own checking account or savings account with a different company like you can with like Chase or Citi, where you can just easily withdraw the money and put it into your own checking account. You have to actually have a US Bank account to be able to do so. And as well, you can pay overtime with US Bank Extend Pay plan, and you can even earn more cash back by shopping at over 1,100 online stores through the Rewards Center shopping deals. And I kind of talked about that in a previous video where US Bank was doing a promotion at the time, and you can check out the link here to kind of get an idea of what that looks like, but we're not going to go over it too much just because I haven't really used it at all. I'm sure the big question is, what are the 5% categories then? Well, that's what we're going to look at right now, and we're going to go into details of what could count towards those categories. So if you look right here, we can see that there are 12 different categories you can choose from. So that means you can get 2 of those each quarter. The first one we're going to look at is the TV, internet, and streaming services. So if we open it up, we can see the merchants below that could qualify for this. And obviously these are just examples of which ones will work. So if they're on here, they should work. If they're not working and they're on here, I would definitely contact US Bank and see why it's not working. Some would be for TV providers. You can do DirecTV, Dish Network, or Comcast. For TV or movie streaming, you can do Disney Plus, Netflix, YouTube, or Hulu, and other ones. And then for music and streaming, you can do Amazon Music, Apple Music, Pandora, and Spotify, and just those other ones as well. And as we move to the fast food category, just make sure to, each section will have a keep in mind where you will need to see like the exact things. So like for fast food, full service restaurants like Applebee's and Olive Garden are in restaurant categories, not fast food. So if you go there, you're not going to get 5%. You could get 2% if you select that as your 2% category. But you just have to keep that in mind. So like fast food restaurants located within other businesses, like in gas stations, discount stores, casinos, sports venues, etc., may not qualify. So for fast food, you can get like Chick-fil-A, Chipotle, Domino's, In-N-Out, McDonald's, Wendy's, Taco Bell, just different fast foods right there that you can see from. And then if we go to cell phone providers, which is the next one, we can see that you can get it from like AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, Verizon, Xfinity Mobile, and just different other merchants as well. And as we move to the department stores, we can see you can get 5% at like Dillard's, JCPenney, Kohl's, Nordstrom. And then if we move on to home utilities, this will be different for each one. And home utilities is kind of interesting because a lot of times home utility companies charge you a fee for using a credit card, and that fee might exceed the rewards that you might get. So you have to kind of look into it, see if the home utility provider charges you a fee for using a credit card. If they do, see if it's worth using like a 5% category card to offset the fee maybe, or get a little bit more, because maybe they charge you a 3% fee for using a credit card, but if you're getting 5% for spending on that card, then you're gonna get 2%. So it'll vary, and obviously each city, each state has different utility providers, so it's not gonna be the same with everybody. But there's like Duke Energy, Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, NW Natural, Republic Services, Seattle City Light, Waste Management, but just different ones. And it's just kind of a trial and error. You just have to test it and see if it'll work for you or not. And then we move on to furniture stores. We have furniture stores like Ashley Furniture, Home Furniture, IKEA, RC Willey, and just different ones on there as well, as you can see. And then moving on to electronics store, we can see you have the Apple Store, Best Buy, BestBuy.com even, and then just other places on here as well that you can be able to get 5% at electronic stores. And then obviously, like I said, to make sure to keep in mind the wording above, because it says right there that stores like Target or Walmart may not count towards those purchases. And then if we move on to movie theaters, you can see you can get some from like Atom Tickets, Cinemark, Fandango.com, Megaplex Theaters, the Regal Cinemas, just like different theaters out there. And you just have to, like again I said, test it, trial and error, to see if it's going to work at your local theater maybe, because it might not count for a local theater compared to like a chain theater, but you just have to test and see. And then if we move on to the next category, we see it's sporting goods. So sporting goods stores like Big Five Sporting Goods, Cabela's, Bass Pro Shop, MLB.com, Sportsman Warehouse, just different places that you can be able to get 5% at. And then you have select clothing stores now. So like American Eagle Outfitters, Banana Republic, Forever 21, Gap, J. Crew, Old Navy, just different stores right there as well, as you can see. And then we get to the gym/fitness center. You can be able to get 5% at 24 Hour Fitness, Anytime Fitness, Equinox, LA Fitness, Orange Theory Fitness, Planet Fitness, Weight Watchers, and Zumba Fitness. Just all these different places that you can be able to get 5% at. And for the last category, ground transportation, you can be able to get these at different places, and obviously each city, each state will have different transits, so you just have to, again, like I said, trial and error, test it out and see if it's going to work for you at your location. For ground transportation, we have like Greyhound, Lyft, New York City taxis, the Sound Transit, Ubers, and Yellow Cab, and just all these other ones on here, as you can see. So those are all the 5% categories. I'm sure a lot of those categories I read are places that you probably do spend money at already, especially if you're like a loyal Apple product user, or if you like to shop at Best Buy for electronics, or if you like to go to the theater a lot to watch movies and everything. If any of these categories sounded good to you, you're spending already on a credit card that might only get 2% on that card, or maybe you are using your 5% Citi Custom Cash card to get 5%. Maybe you want to use this card instead, because you're going to be able to get 5% on those categories, and it's going to be a nice way to get 5%. So if you want to look at the 2% categories, we can as well, just to see what may or may not count towards it. So for the gas category, you can get gas at like 7-Eleven, at Chevron, at Costco gas stations, at ExxonMobil, Kroger Fuel Center, Phillips 66, Speedway, Tesla Inc., just different places that you can be able to get gas at as well. And then for restaurants, if you remember, we talked about how restaurants and fast foods are separate. So it kind of gives us that reminder as well, and to keep in mind that most fast food restaurants like McDonald's, Subway, or Domino's, they see that as a fast food category for those, not as a restaurant. So for restaurants, like it mentioned earlier, it was like Applebee's, you can get at Buffalo Wild Wings, the Cracker Barrel, DoorDash counts for it, Grubhub as well, Olive Garden, like it mentioned earlier, Pizza Hut, Red Lobster, Sizzler, Smash Burger, Texas Roadhouse, Uber Eats, just all those different categories that you could get 2% at those restaurant purchases. And then for grocery stores, this one actually looks like it works for Target and Walmart purchases, as well as other grocery stores like Instacart even, or for Kroger, for Ralph's, Safeway, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods Market, just a bunch of different places as well. And for all these, if you didn't see like the store that you go to, you just have to kind of try it out, see if it works or not, trial and error, or just maybe call US Bank and see if your store meets one of those categories. Sometimes they might not know, and you just have to spend and just see if it's going to work for you or not. Or just look online, see if somebody has done some research to see if they have found out if it works for that store. So that's the US Bank Cash Plus card. There's not really too much more to it, except that it's a great 5% cash back card that you can get on 2 different categories per quarter. So for me, I haven't really been using it actually too much. This card, I use it sometimes for like electronic store purchases or clothing store purchases, like if I go to like American Eagle, or if I go to Best Buy or something like that, then I can get 5% on those spends, compared to like using my 2% catch-all cards or 1.5 catch-all card. But otherwise, I don't really use it too much. These days, I really just use it for my internet service provider, getting that 5% on that spend. Obviously, this could work to your advantage, especially if your utilities don't charge you fees. This is definitely a card that I would use because there's not a lot of credit cards out there that give you 5% on home utilities. So I would definitely use that. And especially if you like to work out and everything like that, this is a great 5% card. If you travel a lot through transits, this would be a good 5% card. And like we talked about earlier, if you go see a lot of movies in the theaters, I think it's a great card for everyone to be able to get so that you can be able to use it on those little categories here and there that you want to be able to use. It's more of a sock drawer card for me just because, like I said, I don't really use it that often, but still a great card to be able to get, especially getting the $200 after you spend $1,000. So that's a 20% return on investment, as well as the cash back you'll get on those multipliers that you spend with the card. And then you get the 0% intro for 15 months, which really helps if you have a big spend that you got to spend it on and have time to pay it back over time without any fees or anything like that. But just make sure that you're spending responsibly, that you're not incurring interest or fees, because that's not what the credit card game is all about. We don't want to be able to pay interest or fees or lose out on all the rewards that we have made through our credit cards. That's when credit cards are really bad for you, if you're not responsible with the card and you're not mindful of your spend. You need to be able to make sure that you're watching what you're spending on. So what do you think of the US Bank Cash Plus credit card? Do you think this is a great 5% credit card that may be better than all the other 5% credit cards out there? Or do you think this card's not that great? Let me know down in the comments below if you want to be able to get this card or not, and I'll make sure to leave a link down in the description. Right now, US Bank does not offer referral offers with this card, so I won't benefit from you signing up for this credit card. So if you want to search it up yourself as well, you can. Maybe there's a higher offer out there, but just know that there's no benefit for me. It's just a benefit for you to be able to watch this video to see what the US Bank Cash Plus credit card is and how it all works. And thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks.